Hello, cultists. Welcome once again to another episode of Eat Me, your noon weekday marketing mindset, mind game, mental morsel. I still don't know what to call this thing, but if you show up every weekday at noon Eastern, I'll do another one. Today, we are going to talk about the thing that is going to keep most people from achieving their business dreams, whatever those may be, their dreams of success for their life, the amount of money they want to have, the amount of stuff they want to buy, the things they want to do. Obviously, in my line of work, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and people who are self-employed in some capacity, and people who are either advanced at doing that and succeeding at it, or people who are just beginning that are making a fatal mistake. And this is sort of what's talked about in a book called the EMyth, where the premise of the EMyth is that just because you're good at being a chef doesn't mean you can run a successful restaurant as an entrepreneur, because the very act of running a business is a thing. It's a discipline and a skill and a knowledge unto itself. Now, that's not to say that that should crush anyone's dreams, but it should be a wake-up call that if you have an idea of what you want to do for a living, you want to be self-employed, you want to pursue a particular activity and get paid for it as a professional, if you don't have a business plan or a marketing model that you're following, you just have a fantasy, you have a hobby that is not going to ever really succeed for you. You need to know primarily who your customers are, because that's where the money is going to come from. And then you need to know where those customers are so that you can put your message in front of them. And you need to have a plan for doing that. And you need to know how their money is going to get from them to you. For something, you're going to do something right. So it's amazing to me that there's so many people out there thinking like, oh, I want to be a professional writer. And like just publishing on Kindle and crossing your fingers that's not a business. That's like a one-person vanity press is what that is. So think about what you really want. How much money are you trying to get? It's a real number. If you don't know that number, think about it and know it. Decide on it. And then make a plan. You got to have goals and you got to have a plan to know what you're doing each step of the way to get what you want. For example, after I finish this video, I'm going to go and I'm going to sit down and have a beer or two while I finish the mind map for the training that I'm doing at 2 p.m. today. I also want to do another promo for a webinar training that I'm doing on Monday with my friend Mike Heath. And then I want to email yesterday's post about that training to my list, because that's where my customers are. And I'm putting my stuff in front of them, and you have to, like, if you're not spending at least 50% of your time marketing your business and selling what it is that you do compared to doing the thing that it is you actually do, it should be 50-50. Like, if you're not doing that, at least at the very earliest stages, you're not growing a business. You're just hoping that a business is going to materialize. You are in control of this. You can make a plan. You decide who your customers are. You go find where they are and start bothering them, or else what are you even doing? Like, do you believe in your product and your service? Why wouldn't you bother someone to buy it if you knew it could help them and they can afford it? You know, just believe in yourself and make a plan. Don't just have a fantasy. If you want a business, you need to act. Like, it doesn't have to be a crazy detailed spreadsheet of a plan. Like, I only plan a couple of days ahead, a week at most, and I only write down 2 or 3 tasks a day because I'm lazy and I get bored real fast. But if I didn't have that plan, I would never make any progress, and incremental progress builds up over time. So you need to have a plan. Get serious about it, decide what you want to do, and make a plan to get there and start working the plan. It's amazing how stress-free being self-employed or a solopreneur or whatever you want to call it becomes when all you have to do is basically follow the plan, right? It takes the stress out of what you're trying to do. When you're done with the plan, then assess, did it work? Does it need adjustment? Do we need to do something else? But yeah, I don't know. I just had a recent flood of people that I talked to from a couple of groups that I joined that just really struck me as delusional. Like, they got mad when I asked who were the professionals in the group, and they didn't understand the idea of being a professional versus an amateur. Is that a professional gets paid for it. You get paid to do it. It's your livelihood. And they wanted to be a pro, but they had no plan for getting there. Just sort of making stuff up and hoping and dreaming. Don't do that. Don't be that person. You're better than that. I know it. Anyway, hopefully that's some good weekend inspiration for you. Maybe that would have been better as a Monday one. I don't know. Maybe you have a lot to think about this weekend so you can start kicking ass on Monday. But once you have a plan, things are really going to start to happen for you. That's it for this week. I hope you have a good weekend. I've been Colin Terrio from the Cult of Copy. And if you like this, you can join me here in the same place every weekday at noon Eastern for another episode. So I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.